Yo, Stephanie. I'm laughing because I think all of my tripods, I think I'm down to 3. They're all dying at once. Why does this happen? Okay, hey. I don't know what's happening. I am seriously avoiding making the new intro to my podcast. I have switched podcasts. I have updated podcasts. I have done so much, and right now I have 3 of them. One of them is language focused, one's cultural focused, and one's technology focused. But yeah. Anyway, the links are always going to be down below, so don't worry about that. But for some reason, after doing so many interview-based bodies of the podcast, I'm avoiding doing the intro, which is just me. I used to really like just doing whatever in front of a mic, and for some reason, I'm avoiding it. I have no idea why. Not what this video is about, but this is my procrastination technique. My procrastination is making a grammar video for Chinese language learning. This is what I do, folks. I just shift which project I'm working on instead of actually just going off and spending time doing nothing. I'm not terribly good at nothing. Unless you talk about certain TV shows or movies, but even that's few and far between. My husband told me the other day that he subscribes to Netflix again, and I was like, okay, but don't tell me this for like 2-3 weeks until my podcast season has started, because right now I'm in serious editing mode. I am resisting Orange is the New Black, so that's 2 minutes entirely not connected to language at all. So, as you know, as of HSK 3, I'm going back to HSK 1 and HSK 2, as well as focusing on and picking up the grammar that I may have missed, or may have not understood fully, or may just not have given a shit about. In HSK 3, I'm also paying attention to the grammar as I go, to an extent, not to the extent where my research, I'm not doing research, where my studying is focused on grammar. It's not. I'm more aware of the grammar in the reading I'm doing, which is the actual listening, HSK 3, 2, and 1 in that order, listening transcripts. That's mostly what I'm reading right now. That will change a little bit in September when I'll move over to the actual reading and writing exercises in the HSK books, but I'm still going to stay HSK based until the end of the year. I will take the HSK 3 test in December. Okay, so what I wanted to do today is twofold. First, I wanted to, on my list of things to do for a long time, has been to take the silliness of the the HSK book, the course book, and the workbook, their grammar explanations, and go, this is ridiculous. This is why I was ignoring the grammar explanations, because this adds no value to my learning. And the reason why I haven't made this video is because that seems counterproductive. I really do think the way they structured this coursebook and workbook series that goes the whole way through all 6, at least so far through the first 3, but they do have these books all the way through HSK 6. I do think in the market of teaching, of course books for teaching Chinese, I think this is the best I've seen. And I explored with a lot last year. If you don't believe me, go back in the 300 videos to the first 9 months, and you'll see that. Oh yeah, so my wristband apparently has Chinese on it. I just realized that. Of course it does. I bought it in China. I live in Shanghai. Anyway, so what I'm doing is I'm not only going to show you examples of bad grammar explanations and how they don't help learners, but I'm going to use my computer, which is right here next to me, and I'm going to go online because I've been meaning to find places that have better, if not great, grammar explanations. Some folks have sent me stuff. There's a Chinese Wiki that I need to check out. I have a few YouTube channels that I think might have really short grammar videos, those kinds of things. So I'm going to find maybe 2 or 3 ridiculous grammar explanations, that I'm going to take those grammar points and I'm going to go online and find good examples. Because just critiquing something and saying it's crap doesn't help anybody. So I want to show the bad and the good. Let's do this. So I'm going to pause for a second. I'm going to find my first bad example, and then I will come back. Well, that didn't take long. That was about 10 seconds. Okay, so I'm going back to HSK1 because I feel like this is the stuff that I can pronounce the least tragically and the grammar that I am the most familiar with. I don't know if maybe I should do one from HSK1, one from HSK2, and one from HSK3, or maybe that's 3 different videos. I don't know. Let's see how long this goes. I don't want this to be a half-hour video. So, okay. In chapter 3, which is where they start doing the grammar sections that look like this, you can see my messy notes, but they'll, yeah, so there's 3 grammar points in this one. No, that's not even a grammar point. There's 3. Where's this one? Oh, this one starts over here. Oh, yes, I even wrote, like, what the hell is going on here, kind of, over there. So the first grammar point in chapter 3, and they always give the super linguistic-y term for things, which most language learners do not know. And the fun thing is that even, because these books are in English and Chinese and with the interlanguage of pinyin, so even within English, the terms for different grammar things varies a hair, if not a little bit more than a hair. When I taught English overseas, if we were using British English books, we had to use that terminology, or at least get used to it so we knew what we were teaching, although after a while you can look at I could look at the examples and recognize it by the examples, not just by the title, but still you kind of need to know. Also, and some course books used the American English terms for things. And then when I went to grad school, I think I talked about this before, there was a different set of terms, a linguistic set of terms, not just the pragmatic teaching sets of terms in American British English. It was really infuriating. An example of this would be, oh gosh, I'm sure it'll come up, but I don't even know if I can anymore because I feel like that was just traumatic, learning 3 different terms for the same type of frickin' sentence or part of speech. Anyway, let's just dig into it. So number 1 was the interrogative pronoun, shema, right? What? What do you want? What? No, it's not actually what do you want, it's just what? Shema, 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 shema. By far the first thing I ever learned years and years and years ago, 2003 in Taiwan. That is the first thing I noticed my students saying, which probably isn't the best thing for a teacher to notice, because they're basically like, huh? Yeah. They were young. I was not. It was my first teaching job. So they have a Chinese explanation and an English explanation. Clearly, at my level, I'm going to read you the English level, the English explanation. The interrogative pronoun is what they're calling shema. It's probably what it's called. The interrogative program shema is used in interrogative sentences. Okay, quick raise of hands. Who the hell knows what an interrogative sentence is? Yes, if you're studying linguistics, please put your hand down. The rest of you? Exactly. What the hell? Why do we need to say that? A statement sentence. Okay, raise your hand if you know what a statement is. Exactly. Anyway, serving as the object by itself or together with a nominal element following it. What the hell are they saying? Okay, let me do that again. The interrogative pronoun shema is used in interrogative sentences, serving as the object by itself or together with a nominal element following it. This is written in English. This is absolutely of no help to people unless they have studied languages, studied linguistics, and even then, seriously people, this does not help people just trying to learn how to use a language. Oh my god, that's so much better. Okay, I have these crazy lights that move around the room. Anyway, so basically I wrote in the corner, doesn't it just mean what? It probably has more depth than my understanding of it right now. However, from what I have seen of it so far, it seems like it just means what. Let's go into sh. 我是, 你是, 他是, I am, you are, he is, she is. We love that it doesn't inflect. I am, you are, he is, she is. That's bullshit. I think inflections need to go away in verbs, but that's a whole other video that I'm sure I did ages ago. What do they say about sh? And yes, I know my tones suck. Okay. A sh sentence, that's funny, a sh sentence, okay, what? A sh sentence is a determinative sentence. Quick, raise your hand, determinative. I thought so. With sh, wait, let me say that again. They really do have that in here. Look at this. Look at this, her sentence. That's ridiculous! A sh sentence is a determinative sentence with sh. Of course it has sh! It's a sh sentence! Indicating what somebody or something equals or belongs to. The negative, okay, I won't go into the negative one. Let's just stay in the positive, even though I'm critiquing. Okay, what the really? A sh sentence is a determinative sentence with sh, indicating what somebody or something equals or belongs to. Could you not, since this is a bilingual book, just show the example? I am, you are, he is, she is. You can even do that box. And yet, that's not the box they show. This is the box they show. And okay, it doesn't inflect, so you don't need all of that we normally have when the verb inflects, and there are different versions. Different inflections. But still, that is not a helpful sentence. A lot of people tell me when they go to learn their first, second language, they have to learn the terminology for grammar in order to learn how to use the language. That should not be happening. We don't need to know the classifications in order to be functional in a language. I understand the classifications can be useful in some way, shape, or form at some point for someone in some industries. That is not true for people that want to just use it in their everyday use or be functional in the language, or even for folks that want to read the language. You don't need to know the part of speech, the type of sentence. You don't need to diagram sentences out. I know it sounds blasphemous that an ex-language teacher is saying this, but that's bullshit. You need to be able to use the language functionally. You're never going to say, I'm going to say a determinative sentence now, and then go into the sentence. You just say the frickin' sentence. Last one, ma. Interrogative sentences with ma. The particle ma indicates an interrogative mode. When ma is added at the end of a declarative sentence, the declarative sentence turns into a question. Couldn't you just say, ma turns a statement into a question? Dear folks that make the HSK Standard Course series, which by the way, I still think is an incredibly good series, especially for the beginning stuff, for levels 1 and 2, which is a huge gap in the market where a lot of stuff is just bad and it's too high and it's too much all at once. They actually do a good job at grading the language and giving you lots of practice at the lower levels. Dear folks that make these, do you want to employ me to simplify these grammar explanations? It's not really my dream job at all, but I will sacrifice my time for a wage. I will sacrifice my time to do this. Because this is crazy. You shouldn't have to learn a set of linguistic terms and then translate the sentence that's in your other language in order to understand that language. So I'm afraid that those 3 examples are far too low to really find something juicy online. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig into something, maybe I'll dig into something in HSK2, a little higher up in HSK2, something I'm supposed to do tomorrow or something. I'm going to find one more grammar point, and that's what I'm going to do to find a good version of how to explain grammar online. So I'm going to do a bunch of stops and starts here, and you won't really notice because I might look a little more or less frustrated when I come back, but generally speaking, the pause button doesn't really do you any different. You won't notice. See, I just paused it. Did you even miss me? No. Okay, so I'm going to pause again. Okay, I think I've got one. In the next chapter, I'm going to review in HSK2, what is that? Chapter 3, the door is open, men kai zhe ne. And actually, zhe, G-H-E, this zhe right here, which I'm sure I'm saying wrong. That has no tone. That's rude. Anyway, that is what I want to focus on, because it's the first grammar point, the aspect particle, zhe. Which I got confused with can for a little while, but now I realize it has horns and can does not. So we're good. We're good on reading it. All right, but as far as fully understanding it, because this is one that plays with time and I appreciate that verbs don't inflect, but I still don't fully understand how time is related. So this is a good one for me to explore. So here we go. The aspect particle je. The verb, the explanation from the book. hello. A verb followed by the, I'm going to start again. A verb followed by the aspect particle je can indicate the continuation of a certain state. For example, oh, here come some bad tones, folks. From me, not from the book. The book doesn't speak. I mean, it has audio, but you know what I mean. Anyway, men kai je. Okay. Tamen chun. They're doing cursive, which is why this is taking longer than it should. Because these are pretty easy sentences. Tamen chun chuan. That's it. Tamen chuan je. Oh, red. Wrong. Red. Hong cha. Hong. Okay. Hong su. Really talk about colors in HSK3. I think, Ita is... Shit, I'm not doing well in this sentence. Anyway, Hong su, I think, is red color? I forget the word for color. De... Ifu. Wow, they really write Ifu differently. Really? Anyway, yeah. Sorry, that's it. So then ta, which they have written in a pro-drop-ish kind of way. Tana je. I do not know. What the hell is that word? I don't know. Error. The cursive kills me. I don't know why they're experimenting with that. I don't really see that as being helpful. Anyway, in the negative form, may is added before, like mayo, may is, but not without the yo, is added before the verb. For example, men may kai je. That's the only example I'm going to give you because I sucked so badly on the other two. In the interrogative form, mayo, oh, there you go, is added at the end of the sentence. For example, men kai je mayo. And that's the full explanation. Do we fully understand what is happening here? Do we understand the aspect article? I don't think I do. So, yeah. Can indicate the continuation of a certain state. See, part of me wants to go continuation for how long? Is this like a continuous thing, like I am walking? I don't know. Let's see. So I went first to the Chinese Wiki page, and I think that's Chinese Grammar Wiki, and thank you to Tom, who now has his own YouTube channel, yay! And has a very active Instagram feed. Also, it's Tom Reads, T-H-O-M, spell it right, folks. All right, so I went to the Chinese Grammar Wiki. He's the one that sent me this site, that's why I just mentioned all of that. And it says using je when verbing away. I'm not sure that's the right job. Oh, here we go. I opened a few windows. Aspectal particle je. Okay, Chinese Grammar Wiki, you're still using those terms, and okay, fine. If you use them in the title, at least you can match them up with the bad grammar books, so maybe that's why they did them. Let's see what the explanation says. It's often been said that the aspectal particle je, to be fair, they have it in blue so that you can click on aspectal particle to find out what that is, so that's better than nothing. Anyway, let me just read it. It's often been said that the aspectal particle je function in Chinese like ing functions in English. It is that. It is a continuous state. I am walking, I am talking, I am seeing. Well, yes, both come... Uh-oh. This sounds like they're going to say no. Well, yes, both come at the after a verb. Oops. But how do you know when to use je after a verb and when to use the basic sai plus verb pattern to indicate that an action is in progress? Because sai has many hats, and that's one of them apparently. Suddenly, the usage of je is not so clear-cut. Usage of aspectal je can be divided into several main uses, and honestly, it doesn't have them there. Am I missing something? Where are the uses? This is my first time using this website, so I'm not entirely sure I'm doing this right, but I go to the bottom of the page and it's gone. Like there's nothing else there. What are the uses? I don't know what the uses are. Okay, for folks that know how to use the Chinese Grammar Wiki, I've used wikis before. I don't get why this is not here. Zhe can be divided into several main parts. And then I'm going to show you this because it just doesn't show you where there's just nothing there below that. It's just that add and then there's nothing. Even when I press the expanding it thing, it's not there. Okay, what other words are here? View code, view source. Okay, I'm viewing the source. That still doesn't expand. Why would it? History. Browse history does not help me. Interesting. I don't know why that's considered an explanation. I mean, it kind of is, but then it says, okay, it can be like a continuous, present continuous equivalent, but it doesn't. That's friggin' weird. Perhaps this is just my inability to use this Chinese grammar wiki. There is, you know, a certain flow and a certain know-how with different websites and tools, so maybe this is user error. It's very possible it could be user error. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take their succinct way of explaining it, and I'm going to put it into Google, and then I'm going to look for videos. I'll be right back when I find one. I think I found one I like. Okay, it's called Chinese Matters, and again, like, I'll put it down in the show notes for you, absolutely. I cannot recommend it 99 million times out of more than that, but because it's just this one time that I'm looking at it, but I'm intrigued by how it's laid out the explanation, and I think this is much more of my speed of how to understand it. So let me show you what it says, or let me read it to you. So it still uses the aspectual particle. It says the durative aspectual particle, whatever, that just matches the grammar book. We need that apparently. And it says part 1, so I shudder to think of how many different hats Zhe can have, because I'm still trying to understand how many different hats Zai has. Zai, I feel like I need a tattoo with Zai, but where should I put it? Yes, that is a location joke. Take it and run. Okay, so it says it was a joke, damn it, I swear. Using durative particle zhe is one of indicating a continuous action in Mandarin Chinese and the pattern verb plus zhe. For example, and this is what I like, most of this explanation is examples. And again, it's down in the show notes, so don't you worry, you can look it up yourself if you want. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. 150%, that's how small it was. Wow, it's big now. Okay, so it says wei, ni zai ting ma. And then the second person says something I don't know. What is that word? I don't know that word. Anyway, after that word I don't know, it says wo shan zai ting zhe ne. Wo zhan zai ting zhe ne. Okay, so the first person was saying hello. You are listening? Are you listening? Hello, are you listening? The second person saying, I am in the process of listening. Oh, it has the English. It has. That's how much I like reading Chinese. I didn't even realize the English was right next to it. If you look at the first one that says A and B, I can't point to it because I'm holding up my computer. That's funny. So it says, are you listening? Yes, I am listening right now. So yeah, that is a continual action. I am listening, I am listening, I am listening. I'm not sure I personally would have put right now in the translation, but that could be very well the best translation. The second example, Nida dian now kai zhe ne. I told you my tones suck and my rhythm sucks, but I read the whole sentence at something, right? So it says, you computer is on. Hello, your computer is on. Okay, so there's some errors. Don't care. Nida is really easy to understand. That's your possessive. So your computer is on. Zhe is used to express an ongoing state. Kai, open, which is one of the easiest characters I've ever seen, and it looks like a door. Let's see if I can actually point. It looks like a door opening. Well, in my head it moves when I see it, because that's how my brain works. So I like that one. Alone can mean to open or to turn on. Adding zhe allows one to express that something is open or is on. So it's a continuing state. So the computer is on. I think these are really clear examples. Again, it's part 1, and I don't know how many parts there are yet because I still want to go through the other examples. So let's keep going. There's 2 more, and as long as I can read them, I'd like to do them. And then she hits a word she doesn't know. What the hell is that word? Something z, li de, something guan zhe. The light in the room, the lights in the room are, oh, lights. That must be the word lights, because li is in, right? So there's lights, and they're not using fanjian for room, they're using something else. Guan is right before zhe, that is the verb, so it alone can mean to close or turn off. Adding zhe allows one to express that something is closed or is off. So it's a continuous off, not a continuous on like the computer. One more. Oh, thank God. I think I can read this one. Bie. And then she hits another word she doesn't know. Bie. I know that word. I've seen it. It's not sho. Oh, damn it. Shi zo zhe. Ni de duo yondong yi sha. Do not keep sedentary all the time. You'd better do some exercise. Do not keep sedentary. That's why I don't know it. I don't know the word sedentary, for fuck's sakes. I'm barely HSK, quarter of the way through HSK 3. Sedentary. I know sedentary. Physically, I don't know sedentary. Chinesely. Chinesely. Oh my God. So zo is alone means to sit. Adding zhe allows one to express that someone is sitting. Okay, so that's very much so a continuous thing. Oh my God. It goes on to explain a whole lot more. It does have some pictures. It says, please translate the following sentences, so it gives you an activity to do. I don't know enough of the vocabulary in that. And then it gives you references, which is nice. And they cite Sino's place, which a lot of people have actually cited to me, so I might take a look there too. I like that. I'm wondering, okay, how do I get to part 2? I think that's pretty clear, but I am curious. It doesn't look like there's an organic link to part 2. It isn't just at the bottom of that page. It doesn't say go to part 2 aspectal zhe. It just doesn't. So I'm looking through the menus on the sides to see. Oh, there it is. Okay, over on the right-hand side, way down, above part 1 is part 2. So it's not as organic, but it's easier than the first site. Part 2 is expressing actions in progress, full form. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. We learned so much for this being a short video, we learned using derivative particle zhe is one way of indicating a continuous action in Mandarin Chinese, Putonghua, in the previous blog. Oh, there they have a link, but they didn't have a link going forward. Interesting. In this blog, we will introduce zhe's good friend Sai and Jiansai, which can be, that's cute, I like that, I like cheesy, which can be used before verbs to express that an action is ongoing or in progress. The complete pattern, I think is what they want, is subject plus, oh, I hate when people do this. Okay, it's necessary though. Subject plus jianzai plus verb plus zhe plus object plus no. Note, you may see all sorts of variations of it in Chinese people daily communication because the full form is rarely used. Right, yeah, that's true. Let's take at least that's what people keep telling me. Let's take the verb phrase, kanshe, to read a book. For example, there can be a myriad ways to say, oh, this is fun. He is reading a book. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh! 8. Or 8, depending on what region of China you're in. My God, really? Okay, here we go. I'm going to read all 8 if I can. I'm going to cover up the English. Oh, it doesn't matter. You know what I like? They have the Hanzi characters, they have the Chinese, and they have the English. They don't have the pinyin. I like that now. Okay, so here we go. Taotsai kanshe. So literally, he is reading a book. Next one, number 2. Taotsai, freezing on this now. Jianzai. 他正在看书. He is reading a book right now. 他正在 Oh, what? Really? Okay, sorry, I'm going to read it. I got too far in my head on that one. 他正在看着书呢. So they're putting the 着 between the collocation of reading a book, of 看书. He is reading a book right now. Oh, I wonder what the differences in these are. Oh my god. This is probably too much information for me, but reading too much can help you remember just the basics, sometimes for some people, not for everyone. But apparently I might be in that category. Next one. 他想看着 Sorry, I'm trying to think of the grammar and read at the same time, and that's just a little bit harder. Shuna. He's reading a book right now. 他在看着书呢.看书. He's reading a... Okay, yeah. They're all saying he's reading a book. 他在看书呢. I feel like we've done some of these already. 他看着书呢. Last one. 他看书呢. And then he actually gives you some sentences where there's problems and you're supposed to fix them. He doesn't really say the differences between those, and I suppose that would be a good time to have a tutor explain the nuances between them. I guess the point for me right now is that this Jen is definitely a continuous form, and it's not the only continuous form. That is the takeaway that I'm taking now. That's part 2. Is there a part 3? I'm looking in the same menu. I do not see a part 3, so I'm feeling a little relieved. So I like this so far. I generally don't like reading grammar explanations, but on things like this where there are groups of words, the word chunks, lexical bundles, call them what you will, that bring extra meaning than just their individual words to the sentence, then I do have to force myself to look at different ways that it's explained so I can understand it. Again, there's no inflections in the verbs in Chinese language, which is a blessing and a curse. I was on a live stream yesterday, on somebody else's live stream, and there was a question about Chinese, like how do you express time like past and future, and I could not for the life of me explain it because I'm still mostly just reading and listening, and I'm not producing, and I'm not sure that I really understand past tense without simple time words. Like, I don't think I understand these particles. I don't think I'm aware of exactly what everything's doing yet when it comes to time placement in the sentences. But hopefully if I in playing with these different chapters in the new and the review stuff, I've now officially started looking at alternate grammar explanations, and hopefully that will help. I'm definitely going to save this one, and I'll put it down in the show notes below. I appreciate different ideas if you're studying Chinese